if I think back to what made me attracted to you and your coaching program, it all landed on this one word, and that's servanthood. So right off the bat, I'll just ask a question like, what is a servant's heart, and why is that important to helping you shape your business where you are today?
Yeah. Well, I think if I back up and then maybe talk about why servanthood is very important to me and why it's at the forefront of everything I do, it's what Jesus says is the ingredient for greatness. Jesus says, if you want to be great, become a servant. The greatest servant will be the greatest.
Yeah.
So that's a principle. Principles are like God's automation. If you do this, then this will happen.
Right.
So if I become, and what is a servant? A servant is a identity. It's not an activity more than it is an identity. So servant is who I am, and so it does make things a lot easier, but that's where it first stems from, right?
Yeah.
And then I've just seen it, and I've seen it because I myself have been served at the highest level.
Right.
Jesus said, I didn't come to be served, but I came to serve and give my life as a ransom for many. And so Jesus, who is God in the flesh, says he's a servant.
Right.
How much more should we? And then you just see it. You see how God's designed the human experience around the concept of, God has designed the human experience around the idea of life is not about you. And you could either accept that early on through truth, or you can figure that out the hard way, because what's the first thing you do? Well, let's say this.
Yeah.
When you're growing up as a toddler,
right,
usually the first words out of your mouth is not mama or papa, it's mine.
You're right, because you also have a younger kid, and I do too.
Mine.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not yours, but we are born with a sinful nature. And it's so beautiful that God's designed our life that what's the first thing we do? We find a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and then we get married.
Right.
And then that's one level of finding out, okay, life isn't about me. It's about taking care of someone else. And then what happens? And then you have kids. And then you're like, now life's really not about me.
Yeah.
Like, it's about my wife and my kids. And then your kids have, a spouse, and then they have kids.
Right.
And God has orchestrated life to be an equation where we come to the end of the reality that life is not about you. It's about serving others.
Right.
And so in the business context, in the content context, in the whatever, it will serve you because it is a principle. So that is probably the biggest reason why, that I embody that identity.
Right. It's
cool. I mean, because I embody that identity, I don't necessarily have to try and be somebody I'm not.
Right. And the cool thing is, and again, I'm leaning into the faith because it's a strong personality of who I am. And I've always looked in the Korean church, at least in the Canadian immigrant life, I was looking for somebody that was crushing it in all aspects of life, including business, which is making money, and family. But I couldn't find a person that would do that until I found you and another mentor. And so my question was, when you say principle, it also is applicable to business. And when you apply that in the business as a servanthood heart, you're saying that there is going to be a result.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why it is a principle is because it's no respecter of person. Meaning you don't even need to know God to see the blessing in becoming a servant. God put out principle. Right. It doesn't matter who applies these principles.
Yeah.
If you apply them, they will work. And that's
right.
why they're a principle, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, if you think about the proverb where it says, he who is skilled in his work will not sit in front of obscure men, but in front of kings. If you're skilled in your work, you will sit in front of kings.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because the skill you develop,
right,
the gift that you develop,
right,
is needed by people who have resources.
Right.
And a lot of the times people are trying to buy back their time, which is also a biblical concept.
Right.
We can go deep on that.
Yeah.
But kings and queens are looking to buy back their time, and they need skilled individuals to do so.
Right.
So like, it's crazy because a guy like me has kings and queens in their phone number.
Yeah.
And they come to me
right.
for my expertise. I don't really even go to them, but I do admire them. I admire what they have accomplished.
Right.
You know?
So for my audience, I look back. You're on episode with your podcast. It's almost been a year. It's past a year.
Yeah. So we just passed 53 episodes.
53 episodes. I think one of the early episodes that you did with your friend David, it paints a picture that was similar to me at this moment. It's like, I'm gonna start my business, so I made the decision, but there's a lot of things in the way, and asking you questions was so helpful because you've already been there, and you're just saying, Yesung, this is gonna work, that's not gonna work. Stop trying too hard. Like you too much. Make it simple, right? Who is the Omar now versus the Omar when you started this whole studio? And just to help, I guess, the listeners, in terms of business, we can maybe talk about in the aspect of identity, in the aspect of like making an offer, what that is, as well as like being able to sell.
Yep.
And so like, if you take a snapshot of who you are now versus when you started this podcast.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, what would you?
Dude, I would say, I don't want to, confuse people with the whole concept of servanthood. Because I found Christians and believers, to include myself, at the altar of being a servant, I wouldn't charge what I'm worth. At the altar of being a servant, I will do it for free.
Right.
At the altar of being a servant, I will do it. You tell me how much you want to pay me.
Right.
Like that actually,
there's no.
So what I've grown is I've learned that's not serving.
Right.
That's actually robbing.
That's a good one.
Right. Yeah. So by not having my price, I'm robbing myself from my value. And then what happens, and I've gone through the journey. I've gone through the journey of charging. I'm not charging enough.
Right.
And then getting frustrated. And then I put resentment on the person because they're not paying me enough, but it was my price to begin with. Or I told them they choose the price.
Right.
And I'm just, I later on in the process, I'm like, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
And then now I don't want to work with them anymore.
Right.
It was all my fault.
It gets resented. Right.
Right. So the thing that I felt like I've grown in, and it's something I feel like I'm kind of I feel that I'm like breaking a kind of like a ceiling from Christian entrepreneurs or Christian creatives that want to build businesses is that like selling is serving.
Right.
And the Bible says in Proverbs, I believe 27, if I'm not mistaken, it says, the farmer who sells his grain is blessed, but the one who holds it back will be cursed. So
there are so many biblical principles which apply to business.
Right. Well, it's life principles.
Yeah, life principles.
And so it applies in anything.
Yeah.
But God does talk about business. I find that it's one of his top subjects, and it's also one of his top illustrations. He'll use business as a form to convey a kingdom principle.
Right.
So
selling, for you charging.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
That was a big thing.
And if you think about business, like business is an exchange of value, for a product or a service.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Now, how can you do anything without profit? You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
And if I were to define prosperity, it simply means enough to take care of your needs,
right,
and more left over to take care of the needs of others. How can you be a blessing if you yourself aren't blessed?
Right.
So this is like all this conviction. This is what I've been growing through. Right. This is what I've grown through in the last 2 or so years because I had a perception of what it meant to be a servant in the marketplace based on my serving in the church, which I don't want to charge for my service in the church.
Churches where people get served. And
I mean, I volunteer, like I do because I'm one of the pastors. I get like a small stipend, but I mean, I give we give a ton of money back to the church,
Right.
which it's my honor to do
Yeah.
so. It's why I love business,
Mm.
because I can accelerate the vision for the church.
Yeah.
I can have the freedom to give my time to the church.
Yep.
And I think if, there should be more Omars that are doing that.
Right.
Go
A
ahead.
bit of a hot take here, and you've already covered this in many of your contents before. Again, coming from a Korean, I guess, immigrant church, there are aspects where maybe some Christians believe that money is evil, and therefore, because of that, I'm not going to do business. And so, to that, like, money is evil. And again, we'll come back to the other, like, offer and like the marketing stuff, but like, let's just a bit.
Well, yeah,
let's just park the car here.
It's just not what the Bible says.
Right.
The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money in it of itself isn't inherently evil. And I would even say, number one, if somebody's saying that, then that's what they have incorrect. That's not what the Bible says.
Right. But they never had a model to model them for, like, what it should look like. Yeah. When it's prosperous.
And if you think that money is evil, even though that's not what the Bible says,
right,
then you're going to operate that way, because as a man think in his heart, so he is. So like, what you believe about a thing is how you live about a thing. So if you believe money is inherently evil, then yes, you're going to resist it.
Right.
Right? Now, how can money be evil if God created wealth? How can money be evil if there's scriptures like God's given us the ability to get wealth in order to establish his covenant? It says in Deuteronomy. Right. How can money be evil if the Bible says, those who are willing and obedient will eat the good of the land? Like, how about money is inherently good? How about money is like gold, prosperity? That's all a God idea.
Right.
Now, the world has taken certain things and manipulated it,
right,
or the enemy has too. That's what the enemy does. He perverts the truth. So, I think going on the journey of understanding that we serve an abundant God, do you want your kids to strive for the rest of their life?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
No, struggle.
Struggle.
Like,
maybe up to a certain point, but
dude, you are hardcore Asian, bro.
No, where's that 1%?
I'm saying like, do you want them to live hard?
Oh,
like,
no, not in hardship. No. I want them to
be taken care of.
Exactly.
You want them to make wise decisions, build wealth, become wise, marry some. Like, you want their world to get big, and you want their impact to be big.
Right.
That's a natural desire God's given you for your kids.
Right.
So like, when we think about us, why would not that be God's heart toward our life?
That's right.
It should be. Jesus says, I have come to give you life and life more abundantly. Why would we shrink that truth down?
Right.
He said, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly, Ephesians 3:20, to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask, think, or imagine. Exceedingly abundantly, that doesn't sound like lack.
Yeah.
And so anytime there is someone, and like by I say someone, anytime there's a believer or a Christian that wants to come against the idea of abundance, I would challenge them, and I would honestly, in some cases, rebuke them.
Right.
Because poverty is a demonic, poverty is a result of a demonic spirit.
Yeah, ruling.
So where there is poverty, there is no God.
That's
now,
so good.
Yeah, and I know, like, it could feel strong, especially if you come from conservative or even charismatic church, because the church, generally speaking, and I love the local church.
Right.
It's really my joy to help build the kingdom of God. The church, generally speaking, doesn't do the best job at highlighting that. Number one. Number two, the churches that seem to do a good job at this get scrutinized because they're preaching the prosperity gospel, which are there churches that are teaching give to get? Yes. But here's my big butt. My big booty. No, I'm just kidding. My big butt in that is, when you do put God first in your finances, does he bless your life?
Right.
Yes. Do I trust God with my finances so that he can bless my life? No. But does he do it because it's his nature? Yes. He says, trust me, test me in this,
Right.
that I won't open up the floodgates of heaven. What is like this imagery is not poverty imagery,
Right.
you know?
So
It's
much.
abundant.
It's
so above. So even the scrutiny of prosperity comes from a poverty mentality. So anyone who's usually pointing the finger, I would ask the question, do you tithe? Do you give above your tithe?
Right.
Are you yourself prosperous and generous enough where you can then criticize what seems to be a prosperity gospel? You know, and the reality is, you know, it's every church that people point the finger at. It's the smallest representation of a church because those are actually anomalies.
Right.
These mega churches with large followings and large attendance. There's not a lot of those.
It doesn't represent the global church.
The average church size, I believe, is 60. In America, at least.
Right.
You know, so just, I don't know, just people have a wonky point of view at that. And honestly, in all that, like I feel like there's parts of me that is breaking the mold. As far as like making money, like let's talk about money.
It's not a taboo.
It's not taboo. I love that Danny Fleischman is just a guy I follow. He does like, you know, social media influencer stuff. But he says, I used to think it was rude to talk about money. Right. But it's actually rude to not talk about money. So as parents, as pastors, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, like let's just normalize money. It's just a tool.
Because it's eventually, it comes down to you as a person who has a skill and creativity that God's given you. And you're pondering, you're always thinking, it's whispering to you. But then when you try to go through that route, because of some things, you just end up closing it. And it doesn't serve the people that you're called to actually serve. Right. So that's I think that's amazing that you've painted that picture for us. And I think the listeners on my side are probably, majority of them are 9-to-5ers, and they're looking to either start their side hustle to replace their income, or just to help their income. And so that's pretty cool. Is there any aspect in addition to that about like your old versus like old Omar versus now Omar that you see when it comes to maybe creating the offer? Because I think one of the questions that you were asking David when he was here was like, David was like, oh, just do this and charge. So it's the charge we talked about. But creating an offer was, I think, one of the conversations you also mentioned with him.
I've been in a journey of learning how to make money online. And there's a concept, not just in the money space, but in the business space. And it's this idea, it's called offer creation. Right. And so some people probably wondering to themselves, like, well, what's an offer to begin with? Right. An offer, I would say, here's my definition of it. An offer is simply an opportunity.
Offer, simply an opportunity.
Right.
Write that down.
So what's the opportunity? If I'm a photographer, I'm doing family photo shoots. Right. You know, if I'm a brain surgeon, I'm doing brain surgery. That's the opportunity. You know, I'm fixing brain cancer or removing tumors off your brain. Right. Like if I sell a home, the home is the offer. Right. So I think, I mean, so that's what an offer is. Offer is an opportunity if you paint it at that. Now there's an art and science to creating offers. My first like real exposure to this, honestly, like with that actual word was Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers. How to make an offer so irresistible you feel stupid for saying no. Right. Something like that. And the first time I read that book, I think in 2021 or 22, I didn't understand it. But I remember,
and like, you weren't running this business at the point.
I was creating content on YouTube. But I never made my own offer, or I did side jobs, but I didn't know it was offers. I didn't know I was creating an offer. I was just like, yeah, you could just pay me this for this. Right. Like, you know, but when you know it's offer, it's you're like creating and crafting and conveying an offer. Then it takes on a new mold. So then I actually read the book, you know, years later after I put out my first coaching offer. Right. And it made so much sense because I was exposed to I did it first, which is just the principle, by the way. Right. Like if you want to, there is so much you're trying to learn without doing the thing.
Yeah.
And it'd be better if you did the thing and then learned.
Mm.
You would get more out of the book
Yeah.
or the course or that coaching program if you did the work.
Yeah. Perfect example that I'm just thinking about is like majority of my 9-to-5 friends who are, again, totally educated. And because of that, it's like a crutch.
Yeah.
Like I'm running a business, great. But I gotta set up all these systems. And like, they never get to actually they find the opportunity, but they never get to actually like build that repetition.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, like I think that's a huge obstacle in my circle, at least, that stops majority of the people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say it depends on how bad you want it. Because, you know, you were here for the workshop, the content mastery workshop,
which is fantastic. Like, I would swear, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. But one of the guys that I have helping me,
right?
He's one of the coaches, and he actually edits the videos that you guys shot.
Right.
He's a full-time physical therapist.
Wow.
He took off
he didn't say that. Right.
Oh wait, it's Saturday, so he's off today.
Yeah.
I give him the dates in advance. I love his hunger. He goes to my church, and if he wants to make extra money on the side.
Right.
So he wants it. And I told him, like, I'm also like, my standards are pretty high. So like, so he actually went home after this to edit the videos so that you guys could get him quicker.
Wow.
The quicker he does it, the more money he makes, even though I'm not paying him any difference.
Right.
But that's just something I've learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all what you do. He has a really good salary.
Yeah.
You know, he would maybe one day desire to leave. Maybe Austin would be probably an audience listener, you know, right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I say all that to say, like, I think he's making an extra $3,000 a month doing side hustle work.
Right.
You know, either on his day off or when he gets off of work. So it does come down to how bad you want it. Now, when it comes to offers, though, this is why it is a journey. But how you name an offer is just important as what the offer even is.
Also the pricing too, like
pricing influences the offer, the name of the offer, the time frame of the offer. Like, there are so many things that surround it, but it all comes back, if we can like tie it all back to servanthood, is how does your offer serve the person at the highest level and get them the most time back, right? As the expert in your industry, you should be obsessive about the process to shrink down time. I believe what I accomplished for you guys,
it's crazy again,
in 2 days time, was more than I could do virtually in 6 months. Like, I just agree, in all honesty.
Yeah, I agree. And being part of your program since February, which is almost a year. Yeah. I can tell that today, I mean, the last 2 days when I was here, it's like,
it was an accelerator.
Transformation.
Yeah. Like, and that's why I hope when people join the program, they come as soon as possible. Yeah. Because it enriches the rest of the time.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's totally right. If I had this at the beginning,
right, it would have.
I think it would have
you would have had more clarity for a longer period of time. That's why, like, Alan, one of the guys in the group, he's a loan officer. He joined my program, and the following week booked his flight, and he came to the workshop, and he just was able to get more out of the program. Why? Because he did the work. Yeah. And then now the learning, there's more insight when you're learning while you're doing the work or when you've done the work. Yeah. Because then you could fix along the way. But perfectionism or waiting to take action will prevent you from actually getting the insight you need to actually not incrementally grow, but exponentially grow. And so I say all that to say, I mean, yeah, the principle of first mover's advantage. The faster you move on a thing, the more you get out of it.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a win or you fail. Yeah. Because even the sooner you fail, the sooner you fix. Yeah. And then maybe you didn't fail and you succeeded. So then that means the sooner you...
bonus, right?
Yeah, you won. The biggest reason why you need to take action fast is simply because you could enjoy the benefits longer. The quicker the action, the longer you get to enjoy the benefits.
That's so true.
The sooner you get results, the longer you get to enjoy the benefits. The longer you put off the action and the thing you're supposed to do, you're prolonging your ability to enjoy it. Right. You know, so yeah, man. I mean, to kind of just tie a bow on that. Like, yeah, the offer creation's powerful. You know, there was a girl here also. She's been wanting to coach and consult real estate agents.
Right.
And I saw something she does really well that I believe has so much value.
You have that eye. You're just pulling it out. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. I mean, I'm learning. I do. And I saw that she totally can have a workshop, a 1-day thing, and charge whatever she wants to charge.
Right.
And so what does that mean? That means let's create an offer around this, right?
Something new, but in season for exactly what she wants to do.
Yeah, so she could call it whatever she wants to call it. But if names are important, one thing I've learned about offers is when you name an offer, you should name it with an identity attached to it.
Name the offer with an identity.
Yes. So I made the mistake when I first made my first course.
Yeah.
I called it Omar's Photography Masterclass. How much do you think that's worth? Just give me a price.
Let's say
whatever you
$99.
$99?
Yeah, $100.
$100.
Right.
Okay. If I changed the name to the 6-figure a year photographer, what would you think that price would be?
I'd say 4 figures, easy.
Easy.
Say
easy.
Yeah.
You don't even know what's inside, just simply because of the name.
Right.
So I told her, I was like, how much money have you made with your Instagram strategy?
Right.
Because she thinks it's like dumb, but I'm like, no, you're every day or every week you're saying you're getting leads.
Yeah. And
she was like, yeah, multiple 6 figures. I was like, okay, it's the 6-figure Instagram realtor.
Right.
That's the 1 day.
There you go.
That's the 1-day accelerator or whatever. And in 1 day, you're going to learn the system that she uses to make multiple 6 figures a year.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Even the inner circle.
Yeah.
I used to call it the video department inner circle. I changed the name.
You did?
Yeah.
What is it now?
Content mastery inner circle.
Content mastery inner circle.
So the video department inner circle, it sells proximity and it sells inclusivity or community.
Yeah.
Because it's like Omar, the video department.
Yeah.
But content mastery inner circle, it sells an identity. Because people want to become masters at the thing.
That's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's just like a constant. And that's why I love words. Like what, like the power of words is actually insane. Obviously like the biblical nuances of it. Like, that's why you can never fully read the Bible because the richness of each word will never be fully grasped because of modern day vernacular, you know?
Okay. Next question that comes to mind, and after this one, we'll sort of move on. Pricing, my whispers of my friends saying, should I charge $100, $500, $1,000?
Yeah.
They would never say anything above $1,000.
Yeah.
It's always like 500 at the most.
Yeah.
And these people are so smart. They have like 6-figure jobs.
Yeah.
But it's like, what is it about the numbers? And how did you break that?
Yeah.
And like, was it just trial and errors and be like,
well, number one, I would say never charge past your conviction. If you don't have a conviction to charge more, if there's not something in you that sees the value in it, then don't do it. Right. Now, if you're charging cheap because you're cheap, that's simply, you're just charging,
you're serving other people.
Or you're just charging from a place of who you are. Like, are you willing to spend the money on it? And if you're not,
that's a good question.
If you're not, then it's going to be really hard when you say a price that's above your internal price range. You'll get nervous every time you say the price, right?
The sweat coming down.
Yeah.
The final prices.
And then obviously sometimes people who go down that path, you get the yes and the yeses along the way, but you can get more yeses if you're more confident at conveying your price. I also think, and I learned this from Myron, that it's when you learn when you learn where the value comes from or what the value even is, it influences the price. So let me break that down. Russell Brunson would say, if you can help somebody get 10x your investment, then that's a good price. So if you can help somebody make $100,000,
cool,
you could charge $10,000 for that program. You know, now sometimes it's like, Myron's help has helped me make 7 figures, which is, I don't even know, what is that like? I mean, that's like a fraction of what it is, right? But, and it's hard to quantify in the realm of coaching, of skill coaching. But I say all that to say, where does the value come from? So like, let's just say I'm selling a YouTube course.
Yeah.
And I could sell a YouTube course for $500.
Mm.
But I see the value in YouTube to the point where I'm seeing people in our program have, multiple 5-figure weeks with small audiences.
Yeah. Not a huge following. Which is a myth. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I charge $500 for a YouTube course, I'm going to miss out on that person to help. And sometimes pricing is a filter system.
That's right. Yeah.
By charging 5,000 from 500, I get a different buyer. Does the information need to change?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Because the buyer is different, what changes is the dynamic and the intimacy.
Yeah.
And I would say the buy-in. Because when you pay attention. So when you have a person paying $5,000 for YouTube information,
right,
I could tell them the same thing that you could find on the YouTube, but they're paying attention more just simply because they paid more.
There you go.
That's
when
the difference.
You pay attention.
Yeah. And when you pay more, you pay more attention.
That's right.
So I say all that to say, I personally, that's my rule is I don't like to charge past my conviction. If you want to grow in your capacity or ability to charge more,
right, you
yourself need to become more valuable. And you also need to be really good at articulating the value.
The messaging behind it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when I see the wins that I'm getting people, my program is free. It's $17,000 right now,
right?
But it's really free. And I say that because
how come you say that? Yeah,
I say that because if you do what I say and what I prescribe, you won't make $17,000. You'll make way more than $17,000
in return. Yeah, you're right.
So guys like Jamil, who had a $43,000 month in October,
right?
Brent, who in his first month of being in the program made, I think, $25K. I think about Will Draper, who is making $36K a month at monthly recurring revenue. And you look at his map of his business and it was flatlined. And then when he came to the challenge and joined my program, it skyrocketed. Every real estate professional in the group, they're getting leads. Their relationships, doors are opening. Like, I'm honestly, $17,000 is a steal. Now, I agree. Yeah. Some people may say you're crazy. And that's okay.
Right.
But it doesn't negate the fact that the information I teach does help people not only 10x it, but also get a lifelong skill that will absolutely change the trajectory of your life.
Right.
If more people knew you,
if
more people knew about your expertise, if more people knew about your services, you wouldn't have financial problems. You wouldn't have relationship problems.
It'll be good problems.
Yeah. It's opportunity.
Opportunity problems. Right.
But I say all that to say I did not start there. I couldn't have started there.
Right.
When I first started my program, I offered a year of coaching for $2,000. And I originally wanted to charge $5,000. But as soon as I put it out there and nobody responded, and when I say put it out there, I sent an email. I had a couple thousand people on my email list.
Gotcha.
And I just said, I'm thinking about doing this thing. If you're interested, reply with the word interested. Whoever said interested, I'm like, all right, here's what I think it looks like. The price is $5,000. What do you think?
Yeah.
The funny thing is I got 2 people to buy, but because I was so insecure, I refunded their money.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I said, actually, it's $2,000. Good day for you.
Right. Right.
So then I wouldn't encourage anybody to coach a person for an entire year for $2,000.
Right.
It was a group.
Right.
And it grew me so much. But the next, I did not open it back up until I was challenged to charge by my business coach to charge $3,000. He didn't say what to charge. He just said, charge more and deliver in a shorter time frame.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me try $3,000
just the next
for
step.
90 days.
90 days.
Which would be almost 4x the
time.
ROI time. And I made the same amount of money. So $2,000, I sold 55. $3,000, I sold 30-ish.
Right.
And it was like 100K. It was 105K, both of them. But the $3,000, it broke my brain because I was like, I only have to deliver for 3 months.
It's like, what?
This is a trip. So then I was like, okay, now I really have some thinking work. And the thinking work is, do I want my program to be 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, or a year?
Yeah.
And I learned from journeying with that first group,
Right.
what I teach is a holistic skill that I'm not teaching, and you can, I plan on doing this, but it's not A to B. It's not, launch a YouTube channel in 60 days. And have your, it is how to understand the art and skill of content creation and building your online business now.
Just real side quick. The business owners that come to mind are people that operate brick and mortar, like contractors, flooring guys. And they themselves would say, I can't probably make up an offer like that, charge $3,000. Do you think that's a disbelief in their heart? Do you think there is a way to work around it?
I mean, it just depends on the season. Like there's a guy in our group that does have that stuff. They live in Portland or in Oregon. And he wants to coach service providers one day. So he's in it for two paths. Like, let me level up the content we're doing in our services business.
The shop,
And then one of the days I've been doing this long enough that he knows that he can model my coaching to start his own version of it.
Right.
But I think the skills of marketing and messaging, it applies to every business.
Right.
Like my thing is,
which is the third point, which
and some businesses have more profit than others.
Yep.
It's all relative to what you feel called you're supposed to do. Do I feel like there is profit in it all? There should be. And if you're really good at what you do, you should charge premium prices. My friend who sells real estate, his name's Sam, he only sells homes that are 1.5 or higher. Not because of anything other than the fact that that's where he ended up. And he realized it takes the same amount of work to sell a $500,000 house than it does to sell a $3 to $5 million house. And he would even go on to say it actually is easier to sell the $3 to $5 million house because most of the time they're all cash buyers. And there's less but there's less back and forth, less dealing with all this stuff.
Penny pinching.
They're easy. Like, and this all this type of stuff, like when you serve a more premium buyer, you not only get to serve them at a higher level, but your experience changes as the service provider. And something I learned from Myron Golden, is he was saying how, like, if your business doesn't serve both you at the highest level and your clients at the highest level, something's off.
Interesting.
So if you feel like you're bending backwards to make sure your clients are good, but you're like losing sleep at night and it's not, you don't feel fulfilled by doing it, something's off.
That's a red flag.
It's a red flag.
So there you go. Yeah.
On the same side, if you're taking all the benefit and they're getting nothing, no results, it's not happening, and they're getting the short end of the stick, there's something off.
Something's off,
but I do, like, I now want to make sure that that's always like my guardrails is like, is this serving me at the highest level, and is it serving my clients at the highest level? I literally flew to Miami, bro, to help out one of our students build out a studio. I did this because, number one, the business I've built affords me the ability to take the time to help this individual. And I felt, like unforeseen, circumstances is he joins the program and then has an issue going on in his family. He could have easily been like, man, I'm out, give me, my refund or dispute his chart, whatever. But he decided to stay and just be straight up. And it was out of my ability to, or desire to want to serve him. I said, hey man, because he mentioned he got a new office space and he's going to do the podcast thing and he got all the equipment. I was like, I'll come down and set it up.
Wow.
I charged $15,000 to $30,000 for that. And, whatever. I was like, if you want to pay for the flights, you can. I'll pay for the flights though. If you want to pay for the room, you can, but I'll pay for the room. I don't care either way. I don't know. Like, that allows me to serve that client. I can serve my clients at a really high level doing this right now. Like I could be home with the fam, but again, it allows me to, and I hope you feel blessed by me being able to do this.
I'm tremendously blessed. Yeah.
So I say all that to say, this is all in the realm of charging, right? Like, this is all possible because of what I charge.
If I pause to take that in, it's like, when you said, it's like, it takes the same amount of effort to charge the premium clients versus charging the cheaper clients. It's like, I think that's magic. I think we'll land on this part of messaging, how are you a different? How do you package messages differently when you started the podcast versus now? And I think you also mentioned in our workshop, like when you are trying to help the customer need, you're trying to really bring them into a room where you can control the environments. So into the messaging.
No, I mean, I'll just start off by saying messaging is so important in any kind of business.
Yeah.
Because if your messaging isn't connecting with your future client or future customer, then you'll have a hard time getting them to work with you. But where do you get your messaging from? You get your messaging from their mouth and their mind. This is why I encourage people, when you're thinking about content, messaging, what to say, emails, whatever, don't think for your audience, think from your audience. What are they thinking about?
Yeah.
What are they struggling with? How do they say it? When they say their problem, they probably say it a different way you would say it. And
that's so interesting.
You'll miss out from helping them
because
you said something in a way that doesn't make sense to them, because they're getting their toes, they're just dipping their toes in the water, and you're in the deep end.
Right.
So this is why I do think you should obsess over the problem, and you should obsess over your clients.
Is there an example you've recently heard somebody say something, but you're like, oh, okay, I can maybe next time package it in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, I gave that example yesterday about how one of the girls in the room, I remember when she first came up to me, she was like, I'm just not a social media person. I know I'm supposed to be doing this, Omar, but I'm just not a social media person. So what does that communicate to me? She literally pre-disqualified herself before anything. You know, even she thinks this is about an identity more than it is an activity. So because she has prescribed herself a false identity, it's going to prevent her from doing the thing.
Right.
But she wants to.
Yeah.
So that's all that, from one phrase out of a prospect's mouth.
Crazy.
I can go crazy with it. But the way I would use that in the realm of messaging is I could say, I know what you're thinking. All these people are making money online. They're building their personal brand, and you're really good at what you do. But you just think to yourself, I'm just not a social media person. What if I told you it's not about how you see yourself, but more about how you show up? I don't know. And then I can run with that. But that would have grabbed her attention.
Right.
Because that came out of her mouth.
That is so beautiful.
So the reason why people resonate with my brand is because I have been doing this a long time. And then as I've grown with my messaging, I've learned to really understand what people want from what they've said. And this is why it's important to listen. I would say, like, the underlining thing to this whole thing is like getting really good at sales. And I would say the first thing in sales is listen. Listen to their problem. Don't prescribe them anything. Don't suggest anything. Just tell me, so what's going on? Like, crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I say crazy because it's that simple, but we're so self-absorbed with our own ways and our own process and our own way of helping people that we don't even want to take the time and pause and say, hey, why do you even want to get into social media to begin with? You know, like, just tell me. Well, I mean, there's just a lot of money to be made. Yeah, cool. So you want to do it for the money. Great. I just want to make sure. So you're telling me that the information you're trying to learn about this thing is so that you can make more money. Are we clear? Yeah. Okay, cool. So then it wouldn't be a surprise to you that by learning this, it would cost money. No, it wouldn't. Amazing. So this is how it looks.
Right.
You know, that's sales. But because we are self-absorbed, and human nature is we are all inherently selfish. So we just think from our point of view, from our perspective, from our limitations, from our insecurities, and then we try to dump that on people,
on the person,
rather than, if we're going back to service, like let's listen. Like, hey, what do you need? I actually don't think you'd be a fit. I actually think you should do this or you should do that. You know,
I think you said one funny thing is that if you drag them in because you want the client, you have to drag them around or something like that.
100.
Yeah.
And it's just that's man, it's crazy because like, you know, I don't mind if anybody wants to jump into the coaching program that desires to achieve the things I help people achieve. I'm all for it. Come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's instances where I could see a misalignment sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know if
They
this
have a
really
different
was
intention.
a good fit.
Yeah.
And like maybe you just got wooed into the sale, which could happen. This is why we want to make sure that like we're all aligned, and that's why I do contracts and stuff like that. Because the reality is like sometimes people are people, man, and they like they get wild on me. It's thankfully it's not the majority.
Yeah.
It's a very small percentage, but it's just I think it's just the cost of having a brand out there and people on their own personal journeys. But
final thought here. There's another great entrepreneur. He's also Canadian, Dan Martel, and he has a Q&A Friday. And the question one of the audience asked was, what's the best way to build wealth? And Dan answered, mindset. Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts about that? The greatest way to build wealth. Because again, I'm trying to tie in the fact that servanthood that I see from you was able to, you know, you being able to use that to build your business. I think it's incredible. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would boil it down to mindset. I think mindset's a big part of it. I think it's a foundational part of it because maybe that is. Maybe I do agree. But my challenge is if you were to ask me that question, what was the question is how do you build wealth?
Yeah. Best way to build wealth.
The best way to build wealth. Yeah, maybe mindset's the answer because I'm going to give you what I think.
Sure.
But it could all come back to mindset.
Say it as it is. Yeah.
So one is delayed gratification. You build wealth through delayed gratification. The ability to do work and make decisions and invest your time, talent, and treasure into something that doesn't yield an immediate benefit. This is why I say content creation is wealth creation, because sometimes there isn't an immediate ROI financially.
Right.
It comes over time. It comes after you get really good. It comes after you build the demand and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, so I think delayed gratification is how you build wealth, or maybe that's just an attribute required to build wealth. I think communication. So maybe the way I interpret that question is different than he does.
Yeah.
Because I interpret it like, what does it take to build wealth? I think it takes growing in your ability to communicate, your ability to sell,
right,
your ability to be delayed in your gratification, your patience. And I also think humility, because I don't believe you can build wealth without being generous. And so
good.
Your ability to also give while you grow.
Amazing. Where can people find you? Is there anything that you're doing next that people should be looking out for?
Yeah, man. I mean, I would say one of two ways is you can follow me on Instagram or my YouTube channel, Omar El-Takrori. I have a great podcast. Arguably biased, opinion is it's one of the best podcasts. I'm a fan of my own podcast.
Yeah.
That might sound self-serving, but whatever. And then I do from time to time these virtual cohorts. They're like virtual coaching events.
Okay.
Where it's called the Content to Cash Challenge.
Right.
And really, I think it's 5 days of coaching. And the value exchange, I believe, is unprecedented as far as what people get out of it and for the price. And yeah, I mean, you'll be the first to know about things I got going on if you follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do more events. I'm getting a new space right now. We're in my first studio. Weird to think that I'm moving on from my first studio because this was such a big move for me.
Right.
But God's good, and He's calling me to expand, and it's a lot of faith and walking on water territory.
Right.
But he did it for me here, and I have that expectation that He will also do it for me in the next spot.
So good. Thanks so much, Omar. Yeah.
Dude, appreciate you.
Yeah.
You're a real one. How has it been in the program? You've been in almost 10 months.
Yeah. When you mentioned, and again, I came through the challenge too. So when you said on the offer day, it's like content creation for you has been life-changing in the aspect of relationships, finance, and also I think, yeah, like it just changes your life. And I can attest it's true. Like it's improved our relationship in marriage. Because once I made the decision, I became intentional about making it work. I paid and I paid attention. Because I had nowhere else to go in terms of deciding, because I was leaving my 9 to 5 to do this. And so what better way to do it with a person who not only does it, but also is grounded in the Word of God. So it's been, words can't describe the level of thanks that I have for your program, your staff, and you and your family. So
dude, I appreciate you. Thanks for doing this. I think this was a phenomenal conversation.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Yep.